Standing Simmer here today, and welcome back to the channel for a fun little unique type of video. This video topic, that is, was actually requested. It's been several current household updates ago, I believe, and I was just thinking that I might like to show you guys my custom holidays that I have here in my own personal gameplay, and that maybe that would either, you know, kind of give you some more ideas as to what to do for your own or inspire you to create brand new ones, something along those lines. But guys, that's what we're doing today. My plan is to show you all of the custom holidays that I utilize kind of in rotation in my own personal gameplay. Right now we are in the household of one of my LP families. This is for the Family Dynamics Challenge, and this is the Taylor family. So none of that is important though. If you are familiar with this, that's not essential to know, but just so that you kind of know what's going on over here with like the work school schedule stuff going on. Lots of people in this household, lots to keep up with, but that is beside the point, guys. So typically I like to play my seasons on 14-day rotations. I think that gives you enough time to enjoy each specific season while not also feeling like they last too long. I know some people who transfer the calendar to like 28-day seasons when fall rolls around, but then like back to a shorter season when winter comes. I know that I appreciate the customization ability of the seasons in the game, but just to let you know that that is kind of the framework with which we're working. But so this family has just kind of entered into fall, so we're just a couple of days into the fall season, and I want to go over all of these cool holidays that I've come up with so far. Once again, that I've played with more in my personal gameplay. I only just today added a lot of these to this particular save calendar. So just a heads up for you there. These are, if you are watching the LP, these are some things that we get to look forward to. They actually will be played out in my videos for this series. So definitely check that out if you would like to see what these look like in action. One more thing I want to tell you before we actually get into the meat of looking into these holidays is that I am currently using the More Holiday Icons mod, I believe that's what it's called, by Lil Miss Sam. I will link that post in the description below, because if you guys want more holiday icons for these, I highly recommend you go check that post out, because if you put together holidays for your own gameplay, you do know that we are kind of limited as far as holiday icons go. What I mean by holiday icons is this right here. That's what that guy is. So as you can see, this is an example of a custom one. With seasons, we only get from about here to, I think, yeah, just kind of like right through here. I think this might be the last one. This one also might be one, but I think I might be forgetting. But we only get a certain number with seasons, but this mod adds everything else that you see here. I mean, there are so many options, it's ridiculous. So while that is not essential to creating your own custom holidays, it does help a lot because it gives you more options. Else, the only thing that you'll be doing differently is you will be, you know, probably reusing a lot of the same icons or just having difficulty coming up with ones to use. So I do not use any custom traditions, however. I know that that is a thing, but I don't use them because I really wanted to make this very season specific. If you have seasons, you could use all of these holidays I'm about to mention to you today. So guys, without further ado, after that long introduction, I do want to go ahead and get into, like I said, kind of the nitty-gritty of this video content. So as we were just looking at there, the first holiday that I've kind of got on the docket is the Fall Frolic. I was kind of looking for some names other than celebration and day or festival or something along those lines. So Fall Frolic is the first holiday we've kind of got coming up here. The traditions for that holiday are decorate, cleaning, drinking, and streaking. Now, what I was thinking with this one is that, now guys, just for the record, I probably will be going to a little bit of explanation with each of these just because I want to explain what my thinking was when I created them. But if that's boring to you, you know, just skip ahead a little bit and you can get to the next one. But with the Fall Frolic, I was thinking that I wanted kind of a holiday sort of early on in fall to give us the chance to decorate. I also wanted to do like a fall cleaning type thing, kind of make the house ready for the holidays that are going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. And then it's just kind of fun to do, like with the drinking, I was thinking more like the apple cider at the carts that you get, like the kiosks that pop up around the worlds. And streaking is always kind of fun. It's not something I've played with a lot in my own personal holidays, so I kind of incorporated that a couple of times as well. So guys, that is the Fall Frolic. The next holiday is coming up here just not too far beyond that, and that is the Bonfire Night. And I was kind of, just to kind of give you a heads up, I was looking through all of the traditions, which are these guys here that we have in game, and I was trying to come up with at least one use for every single one of them. And I don't know about you guys, but here in the States, when we have fall, bonfires are a pretty big thing. I really enjoy, you know, going to bonfires and kind of hanging out with friends and, you know, doing, you know, I don't know, playing the guitar around the bonfire, telling stories, all that kind of stuff. So fire and tell stories was what I have for the traditions for this one. I was picturing like using those actual bonfire items that came from Get Together, I believe that it was, and you can actually have a bonfire like in your backyard. You know, you can invite some friends over, all that kind of stuff. You could add invite guests as a tradition here, but I might just make it like more of a family thing. We'll have to see. But guys, that is bonfire night. One more note I want to add just generally about seasons is that except for the really big ones like Harvest Fest and Winterfest, I don't usually give my Sims a day off work and school because I'm normally working toward getting them promotions and skill building and that kind of thing. So normally I don't give them the day off, but of course you can if you choose to. So this prank day is a pre-populated one. That's one that the game just generated. So we're gonna kind of ignore that really quickly. It's not one that you can actually create yourself. I mean, it kind of is, but then it kind of isn't. This is the one that the game kind of put in there. So then after that comes Spooky Day. So I was thinking in the rotation, typically like a Halloween type holiday comes prior to when Thanksgiving would. I'm kind of thinking along the lines of a very like North American schedule. I know some of these holidays are kind of overreaching, that they are celebrated by other countries, but being from, you know, North America, that's kind of my frame of reference. So Spooky Day is what we're calling this. That's not an original name. Obviously you guys have seen that before probably, but we're looking at wearing costumes, trick-or-treating, and a spooky spirit. I believe for this one, I also have a spooky decoration theme set. So that's kind of fun. Get a chance to decorate even more, which is really cool. Down over here to Harvest Fest. Harvest Fest is a little different in my game because I take off a couple of the traditions that the game pre-populates, like the holiday gnomes, and instead I just leave it to be Grand Meal, Thankful Spirit, and Sports TV. Now, while I'm not a massive sports fan myself, I do know a lot of people who like to enjoy Sports TV on Thanksgiving, which again is the equivalent in North America, but that's kind of what I was thinking for this. Again, this is kind of tailored more to my knowledge. So my Sims instead will just watch Sports TV and we don't have to deal with the gnomes, which is really nice. The day after Thanksgiving or Harvest Fest is this The Cleanse. So guys, I kind of had some fun putting this one together. My thinking for this one is that you've eaten so much on Harvest Fest that you kind of really want to, like, you know, you kind of want to detox a little bit. So this is like airing grievances, like complaining about how much you've eaten, fasting because you're kind of feeling guilty about how much food you consumed, doing some exercise because that's kind of the next step from that. And I was thinking drinking here too, because obviously just drinking like fall drinking is just kind of nice, and you can kind of like customize that however you want. But I was also thinking like how people do juice fasts and juice detoxes and things like that. That would kind of be how that would translate into The Sims. So that is The Cleanse. That's probably what my Sims will be doing the day after Harvest Fest. The following day on the Saturday is a day I made that I've actually played with like almost since Seasons came out. I've been using this holiday because I was really wanting a way to get a lot of my legacy family Sims together, even though they don't live in the same household. So with Family Shopping Day, the goal is to go to like a retail establishment and perhaps like go out to lunch together or go get coffee afterwards or something like that. But the traditions that I put in are festive spirit and fighting, because what's a big family get together without some fighting, you know? Festive spirit, this is on the last day of fall, so you're kind of looking forward to doing some, like you're doing some Christmas shopping kind of a thing. You're looking forward to the Christmas season. This is kind of meant to mirror like a Black Friday again, if you're in some places in the world. But that is Family Shopping Day, guys. Okay, the next week, and when we're officially in winter, that wraps up all of the fall holidays that I've kind of put together. So the next week we're officially in winter, and the first holiday that comes up is Winter Celebration. Now guys, I like a holiday kind of toward the beginning of each season that really just kind of marks the season, that gives you a chance to decorate. I don't like just decorating on like each major holiday in the season. I like my Sims houses to be decorated prior to that point. So this kind of gives you some chance to do some like holiday baking, to do some decorating, some drinking, and to again kind of carry over that festive spirit. So that's what Winter Celebration is all about. Later on that week on Saturday, we have the Polar Bear Plunge. Once again, this is kind of a cool holiday that I played with for a while in my own personal gameplay. Now, while the only applicable tradition is, of course, the Polar Bear Plunge, my goal with this one, usually with my Sim families, is to take them to do the Polar Bear Plunge, but then to also deduct a certain amount of money out of their household funds using the money cheat, and then you input a certain amount of money, and that takes your household funds down to that number. So it's like they're donating money to charity or something like that, whatever cause they're doing a plunge for. Typically what I'm familiar with a Polar Bear Plunge is a more like charitable type event. So that's kind of what that's how I've translated that into being in The Sims. So the following week, guys, on the day before Winterfest is the Festival of Lights, and this is really cool because this kind of incorporated some of the more difficult holidays that I am aware of. Now, the Festival of Lights, I have for traditions to attend a holiday ceremony, which, by the way, I've never done this in my game. Like, I haven't come up to this point yet. This is just one I created today, again, to incorporate some more difficult traditions. But the idea is that you attend a ceremony by using the phone to travel there to complete this tradition. So if you have Parenthood, for example, I imagine this works a lot of the same way as like volunteering with your family. It's a rabbit hole. Your Sims just kind of disappear off the lot and they come back later having attended a holiday ceremony. And then festive lighting is another one. So this is really cool because you can, like, probably by now you already have your tree up if you've decorated for, you know, quote unquote Christmas. You can also, though, this is again where like some of the more difficult holidays or the more difficult traditions for me come in, which is, let me get over here to them. Here we go. With this light kinara, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but this is for Kwanzaa, I believe, which is not something that I celebrate, so it's not something I'm super familiar with, but this is where you could also put in this light kinara, or you could light the menorah, which I know is for Hanukkah, I believe. Don't come at me if that's not correct. Again, not something I celebrate specifically, but if you're looking for a way to incorporate these two things, the Festival of Lights would be a really good opportunity. If not, then festive lighting will probably do the job. So that is the Festival of Lights. The following day is Winterfest. I really like this holiday, obviously because it mirrors kind of like a Christmas. Sometimes in my personal saves, I change the name to Christmas because then it's just kind of like, boom, what I know. But I've kind of messed with a couple of the traditions. I forget exactly what comes initially in the game. But anyways, Festive Spirit, Open Presents, Grand Meal, and Father Winter are what I use for this one. I'm not going to go too much into that because that's one, again, that Max already has in the game. So you guys have probably played with it if you have seasons. But, you know, moving on. So that following Friday, guys, after you've really kind of gotten over the stress of the holidays and your Sims have gone from holiday party to holiday party, you've gathered around the tree, you've been through the stress of going through the holiday season, guys, we have a nice little winter vacation day. Again, this was so that I could use that go on vacation or travel tradition. I also think it'd be a really good time to just enjoy taking a winter vacation with either your whole Sim family or maybe one of your Sims and some of their friends, and really just escape to one of the other worlds. So like if you have outdoor retreat, you can go to Granite Falls. It'll still be pretty snowy there, but at least it'll be a bit of like a getaway compared to probably your Sims' regular everyday life. Or if you're looking for an entirely different change of scenery, of course you can go to Selva Dorada and just enjoy the more tropical environment there, kind of get a break from winter and the cold and all that stuff. But guys, anyways, the couple of days following Winterfest, your Sims get to go on vacation. Or of course you can put any of these holidays wherever you want. This is kind of just a natural order that I tend to play with. But anyways, the following day, so if you do only just take like say a one-day vacation, or if you choose to celebrate New Year's Eve where you're going, New Year's Eve takes place regardless. So what I like to do on New Year's Eve is, you know, of course, party spirit, make resolution, and count down to midnight, which I think are all, again, pre-populated traditions, but I also added drinking because you know what, when you take your Sims out on New Year's Eve, you're probably going to go to some kind of a bar or something like that, and if not, you can do like your sparkling, you know, apple juice or something at home, you know, whatever. But guys, that is my New Year's Eve in the game. So that concludes all of winter, guys. So that's just these two lines right here. Once again, we've gone over all of the winter holidays. Now coming on to fall. So in the fall, one of the first holidays I put in there just right off the bat was spring cleaning, because again, you kind of come through the mess of the holidays, you're ready to air your house out, at least spring where I am, that's kind of how that works. So of course, cleaning and decorate are two of the traditions. I think decorate because it'd be nice to put out those spring decorations, really get your house all well suited for spring coming up. And then that's all I have for all of that week. Again, these next couple could kind of go anywhere. I was just placing them down, again, in a somewhat reasonable order, but again, you guys can do whatever you want. Now, the next holiday is Festival of Flowers, and I have that on a Sunday because it's kind of meant to be the in-game Easter, more or less, and Easter Sunday is a Sunday. Easter Sunday is a Sunday, but that makes sense, right? So, Festival of Flowers. Now, again, this is not like a personal, unique name. I did not come up with that name. I've actually seen that several places, but this kind of the same general idea, which is that on that day, you enjoy flowers, nature in general. So you do some gardening, you give some flowers, you go on an egg hunt because that's kind of fun, and then the flower bunny just shows up. Now guys, I don't know about you, but in my game, the flower bunny is kind of a stalker. He just shows up and all of a sudden I have like this amazing relationship with him, and it's kind of weird. but he shows up anyway. So if you're a little weirded out by the flower bunny, might take that one off. But regardless, guys, on the Festival of Flowers, that is one thing that those are a couple of things that you can do. So a little bit later on, this one's a really fun one. I'm excited to show it to you guys. So this is SIMIC-CON. So it's meant to be like Comic-Con type of thing. I was asking my husband earlier, like, so what time of the year does like Comic-Con tend to fall? Because guys, I've never been to a Comic-Con or anything really like it. It sounds like fun, but never been to one. And you know, spring seemed kind of reasonable. So this is one that could probably go just about anywhere, but I was lacking on a few more spring holidays specifically. So during SIMIC-CON, I put it on a Tuesday because in the game, GeekCon falls I think it's every other Tuesday. I could be wrong on that, but I know the day is always Tuesday. So you have a decent chance of actually going to GeekCon on this day, which would make a lot of this way easier. But guys, on SIMIC-CON, you play games and you wear costumes. So these are things that you can do obviously just at home. You can go to a community event or a community lot, that is. You could go to GeekCon if it happens to be in town. But guys, that is what that holiday is. And I'm so excited to play that with my Sims. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. Later on in that week is Love Day, Valentine's Day, whatever. You know, this again is one that comes pre-populated in the game if you have seasons, but as per usual, I have changed up a couple of the traditions. I really wanted to use this watch romantic TV option, but of course you have romantic spirit, give flowers, and go on a date. And with the romantic TV option, I really wanted that for like my single Sims, you know, because not everybody is with somebody on Love Day. And you want something that your single Sims can actually fulfill. That way they don't walk out of the holiday feeling too awful sad. They might still feel a little sad, but like they don't have to go on a date to like completely accomplish this whole holiday. They have other options. So whether your Sims are partying it up out at a nice fancy restaurant with their significant other, or they're sitting at home eating popcorn on the couch watching a romantic comedy or whatever, then Love Day is kind of covers all those bases. So guys, that is all of spring. Definitely less in holiday wise compared to fall and winter, but I don't know, I definitely want to hear from you guys with this, and I want to hear kind of what you guys tend to do with your Sims, if there are any certain special holidays that you do, and especially ones that could fill spring up a little bit more, because spring is a little interesting. Like there's not a lot that happens for me in spring, so aren't a ton of holidays that fall during that time. But regardless, like I said, I definitely want to hear your suggestions or your recommendations for custom holidays in the comments below, so definitely leave those for both me and other people who are reading them too. So guys, moving on into the final season, summertime, and summertime is really cool because you get to do a lot of more water-related activities, which makes it a lot of fun, at least in The Sims it does. So you get to really go out like to your water park areas and things like that. So first off comes Remembrance Day. This is meant to mirror like Memorial Day, which does come pretty early on in the summertime. And during Remembrance Day, you appreciate an object, you can fulfill the remembrance tradition and tell stories. So I thought that all these things would be really good for kind of appreciating your Sims that have already passed away. I think that there are options to interact with ghosts and things. I think that that's what remembrance is actually, is that some Sims that are ghosts will actually spawn in the world. Some of them probably your relatives, some of them just randoms, but anyways, you have an option to interact with some ghosts on that day, which is kind of fun. So that is Remembrance Day. Later on in that week comes Sim Day. You could also make it Sim Dependence Day. I've heard that before as well. But guys, just the general idea of this holiday is to celebrate. I've actually heard another Simmer put it this way. Again, this is not like, this particularly is not my original idea, but I've heard another Simmer mention it as being like a day where we celebrate how far the Sims have come, both in like a graphic sense, like as far as how the game itself looks, and you know, what kind of content we have available to us now from the original Sims game all the way up until now, The Sims 4. So you could play it that way. You could also play it as like the Sims in game celebrating some big event. Maybe there was a time when the Sims weren't very independent and now they have their independence, and you know, whatever. But there are a lot of ways you can play that. You could also just turn it into purely like a barbecue day. You know, you could turn it into just a summer festival type thing, kind of whatever you want to do there. But either way, that's kind of the idea that I have going, and the traditions are to do fireworks, have some water fun, and barbecue, because why not? You can also add in streaking there for a little bit more fun. That will come up though on the next day, which I have set as Day of Mischief. Again, a lot of these could go just about wherever you want. They don't even have to go in this season, but I kind of thought that they would fit well for these particular seasons. So Day of Mischief, of course, you have your mischief spirit, you have streaking, and guys, I found a way to incorporate the holiday gnomes where they're not just kind of getting all in the way when you're trying to make your Harvest Fest meal, and that is on Mischief Day, or the Day of Mischief. So guys, the holiday gnomes, as you probably know, will just kind of spawn all over the place, and your Sims, depending on how well you please them, will either get struck by lightning, or the gnomes will be happy and they'll start leaving you like seed packets and things. Also kind of creepy, I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be honest with you. It's kind of annoying, but if you're gonna have a day dedicated to mischief at all, then that might be a good place to put the holiday gnomes. Guys, we're moving on to the end, just got 2 more to cover. We've got the Summer Music Festival, because that's a way we can incorporate that art and music spirit. I've never actually played through this in my own game. This is just something I came up with when it came to putting in this art and music spirit as a tradition. So you can sing, it looks like painting, taking photos, or dancing, or playing instruments also contribute toward fulfilling this tradition. So you just have a whole day that's full of music, and I thought that a summer music festival vibe would really work well for that. You could also add in more traditions, obviously, but like I said, I really wanted to make sure to get that one in. Whether you do it at home or travel to a fun community lot, it's kind of up to you. But guys, that is the Summer Music Festival, and rounding things off with Beat the Heat, which is just when your Sims are so stinking tired of it being hot outside, like I was just a few weeks ago in real life, when it just felt like the summer sun would never go away, but finally we're here in fall now, which is blessed. But Beat the Heat is all about doing some things to help keep your Sims cool while they await the arrival of fall. So you have drinking, water fun, and streaking, because nothing says cooling off like taking off your clothes and running around all over the place. But guys, that is all of my holidays that I've put together in my own personal game. These are really fun things. A lot of them I've played through. Some of them I haven't yet, and I'm really excited to do so. But guys, like I said earlier, let me know in the comments what are some holidays you come up with for your personal game. Let us know what you've put together and what are some fun things that you've done with your Sims and how they've turned out. But guys, I hope you liked this video regardless. Once again, check out that mod by Lil Miss Sam, which adds you some of these more holiday icons, and by more I mean like a ton more holiday icons. That way you can more easily customize your holidays for your Sims. I mean, there's so many options here, it's ridiculous. So guys, like I said, that's gonna kind of round that off. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a like. But anyways, I really appreciate you tuning in today. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon. Bye!